Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my January reading wrap up. So in the month of January, I read 5 fantasy books and 1 mystery thriller. So a total of 6 books and 3,028 pages. So let's start off with the smallest category, which is the thriller. So I read The Perfect Son by Frida McFadden. So we're following Erica's POV and she's a mom of 2 kids, and her son, he's the perfect son in theory, but in reality he has like this super dark side, and Erica knows that her son is not this completely innocent boy. And when a high school student in their neighborhood goes missing, she's determined to figure out if it's her son. That is the reason why this girl is missing. I love Frida McFadden's books. They are so entertaining, they are so captivating, they're so quick and easy to read. But honestly, I was so disappointed with the ending. I literally guessed the whole plot twist. I don't know if it's this book specifically, which is why I like guessed the plot twist, or if it's just because I've read so many of her books that I like kind of understand how her brain works now, that like that's why I guessed it. But I feel like this one was also a little bit more obvious than her other books. But like I said, it was incredibly entertaining and held my attention the entire time, and it was so quick and easy to read. So I settled on 3.25 stars for this one. I would absolutely recommend it. I would recommend any of her books. It went down in rating once I was like able to actually guess the plot twist, because in a mystery thriller the whole goal is to be shocked by the plot twist. You don't want to know what's gonna happen, you don't want to be able to guess it. So that's the only reason why it got knocked down. But other than that, it was very good and I would highly recommend. So now let's move on to the 5 fantasy books that I read this month. So first we have A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is the first book in the ACOTAR series and the first book that I read this year. I have heard such amazing things about the series, and the series is honestly why I have not been uploading this month, because I've been filming a whole spoiler ACOTAR reading vlog, which you guys will see sometime in early February. This is following Feyre, who is a human in the mortal human lands, and her family are very poor. She has to do all the hunting for her family in order for them to actually have food and not starve. So one day she's out in the woods and she kills a wolf, or what she thinks is a wolf, but it actually turns out to be a fae. And then she's presented by one of those fae's friends. Okay, I'm either gonna kill you right now or you're gonna come back to my land with me. And so then you're following her whole adventure in the spring court, and I absolutely like, I fell in love with like the whole story just based on this book. But I did find it like a little bit slow at times, and it was a little bit hard for me to get into. But I'm also very new to fantasy. The only other like fantasy that I read was Fourth Wing and Divine Rivals, so I'm very new to fantasy. So I found it a little bit like slow and like a little bit boring at times. But then like once we start getting into it and once the big stuff starts happening and we start learning some things, it just gets so good. And like I could totally see myself like rereading this at some point, especially now like knowing all that I do. It's just very good. So I actually ended up rating this 4.5 stars because of like the last like 40% of the book. It just got so good, and it just, everything just fell into place, everything connected. It was just so amazing. And then immediately after that one, I picked up the second book, which is A Court of Mist and Fury. And so this one, like, it follows like right after the first book, and you're kind of just, you're going through like all of the things that she is like based on what happened at the end of this one. And so you're just following along with that, but then you're introduced to just so many new characters that are just so freaking good. Like I just love the characters in this book. They're really just such good people. I love them so much. Like I love like the little family in this. And then all I gotta say, the ending, the last like I'd say literally 10%, I was just so like are you joking? So this book I ended up rating 4.75 stars, and obviously I can't talk too much about this and like what happens and all of the other books in the series. I can't really go too into detail because I don't want to spoil anything. But like I said, if you want to hear all my thoughts and all my feelings and everything full spoiler, you can go check out my ACOTAR reading vlog. It'll be posted so soon, I promise. But yeah, so this was very good. Again, I gave this 4.75 stars just mainly literally because of the ending and the way that it set up book 3. Like I've never read a book ending so good. It was just so freaking amazing, and it set up the next book so perfectly, and it got me so excited for the next book. I just could not wait to pick it up and read about what was gonna happen next. And then we got into the third book, which absolute masterpiece right here. This is like the most perfect book. I have not stopped thinking about this book since I finished it. I genuinely like literally I have not stopped thinking about it. Like I want this injected into my veins. It was so good. Like I can't. So again, this one is following exactly where this one left off. Like I said, the last one set this one up perfectly. So in the beginning, you're following exactly how that last one like set this one up. But then we're getting more into like politics and war and stuff like that. And there's just so much like emotional baggage damage in this. And I literally cried so many times. Like you'll see in my ACOTAR reading vlog, I literally was just the entire like last 20%, I was just crying. Like literally like almost the entire time I was just crying because it just got so good. So much was happening. Literally so much happened in this, I feel like, and it was just so freaking good. So if you couldn't tell, I rated this 5 stars, and again, I have not stopped thinking about this book. New favorite book, first 5-star book of 2025, and it was amazing. Like genuinely, this could be a 6-star read. I have not stopped thinking about it. And next, this is like 3.5 in the ACOTAR series. I call it book 4 because it's like book 4 in the series, but technically it's just a novella, so it's like 3.5. But we have A Court of Frost and Starlight. So this is literally, like I keep telling people, this is literally like a little Christmas episode of a book because you're following the characters during a winter solstice, and it's literally like it's just them like shopping for gifts and like having just like a nice holiday together. It's literally just a Christmas episode, but you're like, instead of just being in Feyre's POV, you're also in Reese's and then a couple other characters, which is nice. It was nice seeing that, but like it just felt like this like slowed down the whole series for me, and it made me like not very excited to pick up the 5th book. I just felt like it slowed down everything so much, but because I love the characters in the series so much, it was a very good, nice little time. So I ended up rating this 3 stars, again because I love the characters, but it just wasn't amazing. And now we have A Court of Silver Flame. So I'm actually currently reading this. I have a long while to go. Let's see like what percent I'm at. I'm at literally only 18% through this book, so I have a long while to go, but I do plan on finishing this before January is over, so I am including it into this series. But this book, you're not following Feyre's point of view anymore, which is a huge like change, because the entire rest of the series you've been following Feyre's POV, so you've been like basically just dealing with all of her stuff, all of her issues and all of the things that she goes through. But now we're in one of Feyre's sister's POVs, and it's actually not even in her POV, it's like it's in 3rd person point of view, but we're following Nesta. And honestly, I love Nesta. I think that she's a very, you know, cool character. She's got a lot of fire in her, and even from like the 1st book, even when she was kind of just like a nasty like older sister, I knew that there was gonna be like a big thing with her. I knew that she was gonna play a bigger role in the series later on, because she's just so like, I don't know, she had a lot of potential. I just saw the potential from very early on, and now that we're in it, I can still see it, and I just think that she is dealing with so much, and I just think that she's going to become such an incredible character. And yeah, so this is where I'm currently at. So I don't have a rating for this one obviously yet, but I'm feeling like it's gonna be in between a 4 and a 5 star. But again, I'm only 17% in, so we'll see, but it's giving like 4 to 5 stars, like somewhere in there so far. So I'm very excited to finish the series. And again, if you want to hear all of my thoughts on this entire series and all of my spoilers, I've said this like too many times, you guys get it, go check out the video once it's up. I'm sorry, I'm so annoying. So these are the 6 books and the 3,028 pages that I read in the month of January. And yeah, so overall this month has been such a good reading month. I feel like this was such a good entrance into this new year, and I have never read this many pages in such a short amount of time. Like that's huge for me. Like over 3,000 pages in 1 month, that's pretty good, not gonna lie. So thank you guys so much for watching this little January wrap up. Make sure to subscribe to see all my future reading vlogs and more wrap ups like this one, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye.